Well, I forgot to hit record for removing the body off the chassis, and I can kind of explain. Simply, well, this is like a 2-3 person job to take the body off the chassis, and of course Dad didn't want to help. No one else is around, no friends, so I'm by myself doing this. And I'll post photos up here in the video of my process of a one-man crew of myself with a Kubota high lift tractor to remove the body off the chassis. So that's that. So pretty much the body itself, I took it off. I did put the seat frame back in to stiffen up the body for taking off the chassis, just so it doesn't flex and, well, let's just say crack in that corner. So that's that. So tub's off on the ground. I put a caster right there with the steel beam I had, and I'm using the four jack to just to lift out the back and not drag it. Eventually tomorrow I got a pallet in the barn with casters, so the whole body will be on that. And then with that, then I can wheel it onto the trailer to haul it to the neighbor's barn to get put away in storage until I get the chassis all done. Painted, suspension checked, new steering, new brakes, and the chassis is done. The transmission's all good. And after that, hopefully Grandpa has the motor done by then. Mount the motor back up. And then after that's done, that goes to storage. And then the body comes back over here. We have a lift table right here, 3-ton lift. Bring the table up with the body on top. Probably actually upside down, we'll see. And just patch the floor. I did buy new 4 pans. Yes, I could have pretty much just bought a whole new floor, plus the back bed. That bed's pretty good, I'm okay with it. The whole unit up front's like $750. Not my budget. But what's in my budget is just buying the 4-pan itself that goes up front. Comes all the way back here to the very back riser. That piece and that piece. Both are $80 a piece. I'm okay with that. And then the bracing underneath that holds the floor together. So the chassis, body mount bracing. So I bought those 2 as well. So I need to fabricate the center, because no one sells the panel. You have to buy the whole unit, or else just the 2 separate panels. So I need to fix that where the PTO would go, the shift levers for it. Just get them sheet metal, bend it, weld it. As well, I did buy the bracing that goes underneath that. That's why it rotted out. That's a hat channel, really wide hat channel above the transmission. So bought that piece too. And it's gonna be hard to tell, or if I can get my camera, but this brace that goes all the way across, I bought that too. Could have made it homemade, but it's like, just buy it. It's just cut and fit, done. No more trying to fiddle with stuff. And then same as well as this back brace, where your tailgate hinges go to. Pretty much on the driver's side, those ones are the worst. So I bought that, which also includes in the kit this channel going down, but mine's pretty good. And luckily it's a 3-piece kit, so I can just cut that out, replace it, keep those as spares for later in the future, but I'm pretty good on those. And I did buy a new side cowling that goes from here forward, pretty much all the way forward to the cowling up top. So this whole panel is getting replaced, so I bought that as well. I need to fix down here. This guy's pretty much from this point up high is pretty good, but from this seam down and across to the back fender area, that needs patch as well. It's already been bondoed, like right here. It's pretty much bondoed. I'm gonna cut that out, just a new piece of sheet metal, much thicker, because it is also the rocker panel, which is rock crawling. I am going to buy some big wheelie rock sliders when the time comes. Not right now, money's tight. So that should also armor up more too. So for the front fenders up front, this hat channel needs replaced. I thought about buying it, but I'm taking a welding class every Tuesday and Wednesday nights at school. And so as a teacher at one point, can I bring some Jeep parts in? Sure. Not the whole Jeep. So I'm gonna get some flat stock, just grind that away at home, bring it to class, put some flat stock, beef it up, weld it, and then hopefully find some square stock from home or somewhere else, and then weld that in. This is passenger side. So same deal, pretty much on the inside, since this hatch handle is pretty good. So about here, I'll cut it, splice it. Same deal as that fender. But then right here, you need more flat pieces because of it bolts to the frame. So on the frame, it's pretty good shape. I had my friend Mike, neighbor, my grandfather, my dad, we all agree the frame is pretty good shape. Nothing needs done to it except for a good wire brush down the bare metal. Maybe reinforce some more welds from factory just to beef them up after 74 years. Just beef up the welds. To me, especially on this side, on the frame, right there, for the cross member. And then back here on the back bed, knowing me, I'm gonna haul stuff. My cop car can't haul a thing, so my Jeep's gotta have a chair hitch, the bed's gonna be used. So I'm going to add more bracing across, just drill a hole in the frame and add some extra cross members if I can find some more. Just go across and just beef it up more from our load in the back bed. I do see that bushing for the leaf spring needs replaced. Other than that, that's it for leaf springs I'm seeing as of now what needs to be touched. Obviously once the frame gets down to bare metal, we'll see more. That's really it. The front axle, we're going to swap out to a much better one with hubs. So we're not going to touch that at all. There's one U-bolt broke missing. The rest are all intact, but they're probably no good. I'm going to take them off. So with Big Willie rock sliders, his kit also comes with the skid pads and also brand new U-bolts. So I want to put that on too, so I'm not going to spend any money. I do have some rough country leaf springs from my CJ5 still, just leftovers or cheap, but they'll work for temporary use. I should have made a video of us taking the steering wheel off. It's pretty much a pain, and you can tell it's a bit different than I guess the last few videos. This is all rubber back then when we first got the Jeep, and the steering wheel is just stuck. It won't budge off. So I get the nut loose, trying to hammer it from the bag. I got a fork trying to hammer it loose, didn't work. So my neighbor came over, Mike, brought his clamp, press. Same deal, comes back here but puts pressure on the shaft. And did that, plenty of cranks. We're getting tired out, so he says, go grab the torch. So I put the torch to it, went around for a good 2 minutes of time, and this nut was off. And just we're doing the torch from the back side in case it flew off, which it did. So the steering wheel would just bounce into the passenger seat pretty much. But hey, the steering wheel came off. No damage. Yes, I have this bare metal now, all painted, and gives it a nice World War II look, which I'll keep. This rubber part, plastic piece, just electrical tape it. Harbor Freight tape. That's pretty much it for steering. Now for steering slop, since the body's off now, we can check out stuff. It does need a few bushings, but so down here, that bushing shot. Could need new crank, or else just needs a whole new crank, or else just the bushing. The major part, which pretty much all Jeeps have this issue, down here. So yeah, that bushing, that bolt shot, I've been spraying it, but I doubt it'll come loose. So that's about it for steering sake of things. The brakes, well, I can't really tell. Brake pedals here. Kind of rusty. There's no cap on it. So I'm gonna get a new master cylinder, just play safe, buy a new one. This is I think it's a Weber, I believe. No, it's a Wager lockhead, whatever it is. But replacing it. So getting a new master. And I don't know why, but someone put a brake line this way. You can visually see in the video. It comes down, it goes up, comes back down to the front axle. Why couldn't you just gone through here, straight across, underneath the engine mount, and then down? So I'm gonna change that later. For now, for testing, leave it, but change it eventually. Rest of the brake lines pretty much on the Jeep do look pretty good. Front axle, I don't trust at all, plus it's gonna get swapped out. The brake lines coming across here look pretty good. Probably replace this hose if I need it. That seems good. I don't like that gap. They put a clamp on it. Yeah. At least make it straight and tidy it up without kinking it. But for testing, leave it alone. That's it for brakes. I think that's it for that. We'll pull this drum brakes off and such once the frame is, well, just about painted before I start painting. At least do the primer, get primer on the frame before I touch brakes. Now, this is getting me questioned. So, this is the Radiator grill mount. That's a rivet weld, whatever it's called. But why is this one missing? And also there's a nice weld mark right here, hole in the bracket to the frame. It's welded. Like, why do we have a hole in the first place? It's probably a factory rivet weld. And then they put welds right here. Same as this side. Now I do trust weld overall, but for aesthetics, I'm gonna put a rivet back in, just for aesthetic looks. So.